Welcome back into the Enrichment Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Madisonville Marine, and the boat show is just around the corner, March 6th through 9th at the Knoxville Convention Center. You can go out there, see the big area that Madisonville Marine will have set up. Right now, though, you can already take advantages of great rebates, great deals. For example, G3 boats, like the one Bob Hodge bought, $1,500 back factory rebate on select models of G3. Rebates of up to $3,000 on select models of Skeeter boats. Madisonville Marine right now, you can go to madmarine.com and see for yourself, or do yourself a favor, get down there and check out their showroom. They're going to bring a lot of boats up to the convention center, you can be sure of that. It would take about 15 years for them to bring all the boats up from Madisonville. Their selection is so huge. You're going to see a bigger selection if you head down there. Madisonville Marine on 411 North outside of Madisonville. All right. Back with Don DeVoe. And Don, before we get into this, I want to show, hopefully we got a graphic here. I think our computer's up and running. Hey, looky there.
My
Actual
goodness.
graphics. All right. Now, those are the tenures of the coaches since Ray Mears forward. And you look at those seasons coached. That's what I think is interesting. Ray Mears, 15 years. Of course, he had the health-related issue, and Cliff Wettig filled in as an interim for a year. Don, you were here 11 years. And then right there, right about the time Sports Talk launched in this town, over on 990 and 99.1, about the time talk radio really took off, look at what happened with the 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, 4 years, 6 years. Obviously, the Bruce Pearl thing was an issue of his own creation. Then you got Conzo Martin's got a 3-year, and people are ready to move. But you look there, NCAA wins. You were the first guy to ever win an NCAA tournament game here. 5 wins in 6 trips. Jerry Green, 3 wins in 4 trips. Went every year, and no one was happy with him. And then you had Bruce Pearl, 8 wins in 6 years. Don, what about Tennessee's tenure, their coaching history, the length of coaching? You don't want to be a revolving door. Is that going to play any kind of a role if there's a move with Conzo Martin? Is that the kind of thing that another coach would look at?
Well, no question. A coach wants to be concerned, more than anything else, does he have an opportunity to win? Is the situation good enough that he can go in and can he recruit creditable players? And obviously, can he win in this particular league? A lot of coaches will look at the league and say, well, I think I can win at the Southeastern Conference. But I think again, the tradition of the league, lends itself to being able to get a very high-profile coach. I don't think a lot of times the athletic directors of this league, go out and really go after high-profile coaches. That's just my opinion.
I think you're right.
And so when you have that kind of scenario, your fan base will always say, well, I think we can do better. We got enough money that we can do better. But this just seems to me like the bar is never really that high for athletic directors of Southeastern Conference and hiring basketball coaches.
I think we all know that if the decision is outside of Lexington, if the decision is made, we're going to put this money on a football facility or a basketball facility, we know where that money's earmarked. 10 of the top 25 highest paid football coaches in the country are from the SEC. Only 5 of the top 25 highest paid basketball coaches are from the SEC. I think that gets to what you're talking about. I want to speak very quickly with you because you've been on the inside of this thing. You've been a coach. You lived through a season on the hot seat here in 1989. Now, you made the NCAA tournament your final year. Wasn't good enough. Doug Dickey made the change, and you saw the list of coaches that came after that. What was it like, though? Can you relate to Conzo Martin at this point, having to sit there? You're coaching for your job. You think you're coaching for your job. Fans, you know how fans are. You've already turned to the next big thing. What's that like as a coach?
I personally think that Conzo Martin, is a very focused individual. I think he's very confident, in what he is teaching. I think the players respond very well to him. It's just that, this game yesterday and the game before, I put on the players. These players, are not playing sometimes as smart as they need to play. I think the coaching staff is doing the best they can, but getting back to your question, I think that the coaching staff, is really confident that they can win, and I think they can win also. I mean, every game that they have played, even yesterday's game, was a very winnable game, and for them to be able to get over the hump, it's really, really critical. But I think the coaches are showing a lot of confidence in the players, and again, that's just the way you have to do. You have to keep yourself focused as much as possible on just the team and winning the next game. Nothing else is really important. Doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. You just have to be focused on your team, your staff, and winning the next basketball game.
Okay, now everyone says that. You've been through it. I've heard your answer to this question offset, so I'm going to make you answer this one honestly. The idea is to block it all out. Can you, as a coach, can you block it all out?
Certainly not. I mean, you work in the community, your family's in the community, your kids go to school here in the community. Sure, it's really difficult. And I think one of the things that always made Tennessee maybe a little more difficult than maybe some of the other SEC jobs was the advent of Thompson-Boling Arena. I was certainly a great promoter of, moving from Stokely to the new facility. When we made the decision to really promote the arena, at that point in time, we thought that we could host a Final Four. There wasn't a rule then to go to the huge domed arenas to play college basketball. So it was really a great thing for the University of Tennessee to step forward and to build Thompson-Boling. And, we filled it right from the beginning. The final years that I coached at Tennessee and we were in Thompson-Boling, we were second and third, in the nation in basketball attendance. So the fan support was certainly there. But, you always have to win basketball games. But I think that the arena itself always makes fans feel like, hey, we're better than other teams, and so consequently, we should win more games. I don't think the arena helps basketball coaches at all here at Tennessee.
Well, it could be a blessing and a curse. One, it's a blessing that when you get it packed, it's a great place to be, and you can sell that facility to recruits. The negative is, and I think you're right, if you're going to have that big of an arena, you better win. I think it does put you in a ballpark with the University of Kentucky, not in terms of tradition, certainly, but I think in the mindset, if we've got 20,000 people that can sit over here, we want to see a top product.
But see,
which is
something else that I would add that adds pressure to the coaching staff is that they have to go greater lengths here to find basketball players that are going to help them win in the Southeastern Conference. Now, let me tell you, that onus is really difficult because if you're an honest, hardworking coach, you're not going to find very many players in East Tennessee that are going to put you at the top of the ladder. So consequently, the onus is on you and your staff to go to other areas. Georgia has always been a great recruiting area. Of course, Coach Mears was able to bring in two great players from New York City. But
you get Tony White from Charlotte.
So what happens, the onus is always on the staff here to have great recruits. And if you're an honest, hardworking recruiter, I don't always think you're going to have the advantage that maybe some of the other schools in the Southeastern Conference might have.
Well, Memphis might as well be in Arkansas. I mean, that's people say, well, that's in Tennessee. I've never talked to a Tennessee coach who said, it's easy to go into Memphis. That's not a good place to go.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Don, thank you very much. We'll have you back in a little bit later segment. When we come back, we're going to take a look at where some of the SEC schools have gone to get their coaches and what type of coaches might be interested in an SEC job. Come on back on the Enrichment Sports Source.